What's up, guys? Shockwave640 here, and today I am back from my long hiatus, and I'm going to start doing my tour reviews again. Now, you should be expecting the typical schedule that I was doing a review roughly every other day. But we'll see how it goes. I just wanted to start off with doing Slash here. The last night's Slash, just because I couldn't really find any other figure that hadn't already really been overdone. I do have a few figures from Power of the Primes. Like, I have most of the Dinobots. I'm missing 2 of the Deluxes and the little Slash. And so I've got a bunch of those coming. I've got a bunch of new Gundam kits that have been assembled and ready to be reviewed. I also have a really big surprise that I'm going to review eventually. But for now, this is my new recording studio for the time being. I don't have a new logo. As I said in my previous video, my Mario Kart gameplay, if you haven't seen that, please watch it. The quality may not be the best, but we enjoyed making it with what we had. As I stated in that video, my recording studio and things like that were all destroyed when I was moving around. I'm finally settled down though, finally got an apartment and things like that, so everything should be normal for the time being, hopefully. But in the meantime, we're gonna take a look at our little Dinobot friend here. This is the Deluxe Slash. It is just a straight up repaint of the Age of Extinction mold, which was an amazing mold, just weirdly colored. I think that this looks amazing. It's probably one of the best looking Deluxes I have seen in terms of color scheme and the way the paint looks and things like that. But let's get close in here and take a look at the details. We're going to start off with the head, which I don't know if you would call this a guy or a girl, considering the new Slash is a girl. I don't know if they ever specified the gender in either of the bios for this character, but who knows? I'll probably just address it as a guy or a girl. I don't know. You'll know what I say whenever I say it. But so we can see the head right here. The eye is a little bit weird. I kind of wish the eye was more level. I don't know, just something about that eye looks a little bit off to me, the way that it's positioned, but it's alright though. A lot of silver all over this head right here, as well as a metallic blue there on the neck. You can see all the crazy looking teeth and these spikes right here. These spikes right here are a hard plastic. All the other spikes everywhere else are soft plastic, which is except for the toes. So these will break and they will hurt you if you step on this thing. I've stepped on it before and it does not feel good. The head has pretty much no articulation. The only articulation is the mouth can open. You can kind of make it look up a little bit. So it kind of comes a little bit disjointed and gappy right there, but it's alright. I mean, you can make it open its mouth really wide per the transformation. That's just horrifying. Inside the mouth, but that starts to split the head. Inside the mouth, there's not really all that much detail. Could you... Hang on just a second. There we go. Inside the mouth, there's not really all that much detail going on. It's just very slight, minimal detail, and that's pretty much it. There's not really much going on in there. Very cool looking head sculpt, though. You can't really close the mouth any further than this unless you make it look up a little bit. You can kind of close the mouth, just a little bit anyways. But the fixed position is supposed to be, and the mouth will always be open. The little arms are here. There's more silver paint there on the fingernails. These little feathers, or that's what they're supposed to be, because if you didn't know, this is a Velociraptor. Velociraptors are supposed to have feathers. You can see them as spikes though, but all of these are supposed to be, I think these are probably supposed to be spikes, but these are supposed to be feathers. But I guess since this is a Cybertronian dinosaur, they're probably spikes, but you can see the little feathers right here. These are soft bendy plastic. These will be the axe weapons that they use, that Slash uses in robot mode. Coming down to the legs, you got some more metallic blue. You can see the hands right there, which is alright, I guess. I mean, they don't really stick out all that much. And then coming down to the feet and the legs, uses this strange, like, metallic greenish plastic, really dark green throughout the entire figure. It's kind of interesting. And then lighter metallic blue. You can see the toes there done in silver. It's got the big slashing toe. And the rest of the foot's just done in black. And then all the bendy plastic is just done in gray. And then the tail is tipped in a little bit of blue. The tail has no articulation, it's just bendy. You can kind of force it to stay in a position you want it to go in, but I mean, mine was kind of bent in this position, so I kind of liked it, so I kept it. Same thing with all these spikes. If anything spins out of place, just heat it up and get it into the position you want it and hold it there for a few seconds, and it should be fine. Articulation-wise, the arms are on a weird ball joint. Like, they won't go out at all. They will go forward, and they'll go down about that much, but they always want to come inward. Just because the way that the ball joint right there is set, they always want to come inward and move around and up and down, which is alright. I mean, gets you some pretty good like T-Rex Velociraptor kind of poses for scratching and clawing, but it's kind of annoying that you can't bring the arm out any further than that without it just springing back. As I said, nothing at the head except for the mouth opening and closing, nothing at the tail. The legs are on a ball joint as they will be the robot mode arms. They can do what Grimlock did and just kind of fly around and do this kind of thing. So, I mean, that's a thing that you can do. They can do a full 360. They do have a rotational joint right here. They do have a knee, but part of the transformation, it starts making the fist come out, so I mean, you can pretty much just move it without the transformation really being all that much visible. You can really only like wiggle, and that's pretty much it in terms of the movement. I mean, you can get a little bit, but unless you don't care about the fist sticking out of the knee, it is a full knee bend. The feet don't really do all that much. I mean, there is a rotation right here, but it's kind of weird just because it makes the foot rotate in a very strange way, just because the angle of the joint there. And you can also point the claws down, and it looks more like a bird claw than anything. Oh gee, I wonder why. Okay, now let's get down to the transformation. For the transformation, I'm going to remove the axes just because I don't want them to be in the way. And they just pull right out and set those off to the side. Actually, before I do that, let's go into the one size comparison that I have for the dinosaur mode, and that is Deluxe Scorn. You see this is a very large Velociraptor, or that's a very small Spinosaurus. I think that's what they're called. But yeah, I mean, they look pretty good together. Slash is definitely way bigger. But this thing shrinks down remarkably well during transformation, as you will see. It's kind of crazy. We're going to start by... oh yeah, there is a rib cage sort of thing going down right here, which is kind of cool. We're going to start by moving the rib cage outward, like so. It doesn't tab in anywhere, which is kind of annoying because they can be moved and shifted all over the place. But the legs will usually kind of hold them in place, but oh well, there's not really much you can do about it. But just kind of get the arms up out of the way, get the rib cage, just get them out of the way as much as you can. And we're going to, actually, we need all that to be down this way out of the way because we're going to start on the head. So what you want to do with the head is you want to split everything. You can see various tabs and ports and plugs and stuff all over the place down the entire length of the neck. So you want to split the head. You want to come in here and get these out of the way. This is the part that's a little bit annoying because there's a lot of stuff everywhere. You can see that these sections right here, these gray sections, have a little clip point, and there's another clip point wrapping around that bar. You want to unclip the ones up above, swing these around, and you can see that this clip point right here will come back around and hug that section, which will bring the dinosaur arms to the dinosaur's butt and the rib cages up to the shoulders and rip off the arm in the process. It's just a ball joint, so we'll just go right back on. Now, let's continue finishing up the legs. We'll deal with all that in just a second. We'll just do the legs first. Now what you want to do with the legs is grab the top of the dinosaur head. It is on those multiple hinges that I showed you earlier. And just kind of bring that back. I don't really like this part of the transformation because you kind of have to almost force it past these spikes right here at times. It seems like it's just getting forcefully shoved past them, which is a little bit annoying. Then you just want to close the jaw and get it out of the way. After that, you're going to come to the head here and flip out the little iron chic boot, the bottom, and then rotate the entire throat all the way down and rotate right below the knee. Come to the front here. Kind of get things adjusted. These little spikes for here in the thighs are probably the one thing I don't really like about this figure, is because they just kind of get in the way more than anything. I like to bring them out to make them almost like knee spikes, because it gets them out of the way in terms of posability and things like that. Let's try to see if we can get him standing. These are really, really hard to stand up. He's just got so much stuff everywhere going on at the same time. He doesn't want to stand for some reason. Also, these parts right here don't really lock into place. They just kind of move whenever they want to, which is also pretty annoying, I'd have to say anyways. Let's see if we can adjust things here. Alright, there we go. Now, to transform the arms, you're just going to flip it the other way because you want that spike here to be on the outside. Flip that way, and then bring the claw up, and then push the entire foot in, and then bring out the fist. And there you go. You got your arm done. That's a pretty cool transformation for the arm. I like how it compresses up. Do the same with the other side. Just want to rotate the foot, bring the claw up, bring the fist out, and rotate the hand. Bring the fist all the way out if you have to, because sometimes it won't always push it all the way out. Now you're going to just kind of bring these dinosaur arms to the back, rotate the rib cage, and kind of make it hug the shoulder right there, and those would become the shoulder pads. And then last but not least, you just bring the tail all the way down to the back. And there you go. You have the transformation all complete, and you have Slash in his or her robot mode. Now, Slash does have a really cool looking robot mode. It's definitely interesting compared to what you think a Velociraptor would have turned into. It's a very Archer-like robot mode, especially with the helmet. This is similar to what archers would wear back in medieval times, I believe anyways, especially with the top part of the helmet at least. Very, very cool helmet. I absolutely love this head design. Probably one of my favorite movie Dinobots for the heads anyways. I don't really care for this gray plastic right here on the sides of the chest. That's a little bit ugly to look at. It would have been nice if they made it at least this color right here, or that darker color, or at least dark, that black color. That sticks out quite a bit even when you're looking at it from pretty far away. Goes nice with the color scheme, and these kind of help break it up here on the sides, but not all that much, because there's none on the legs. Because this is painted silver. Right here you can see the sheen on the little knee spikes right there. Now, the accessories, of course, does have the little axes, and you can't just plug them into the hand. They are just a soft material plastic, so they will cooperate with you pretty easily, and there you go. It's a little machete. Not really much you can do with it. If you want to store them, they go back into the exact same spot they were in dinosaur mode. Not very interesting weapons, to be honest. It would have been nice if it came with something else, but that's what she came with, or what he came with, whatever he is. Now, articulation-wise, the head is just on a swivel. It will go about that far, as far as it will go, which is alright. I mean, that's perfectly good enough. The shoulder pads will move up out of the way to accommodate the arm movement. The arm, of course, is on a ball joint, will go forward, backward, go out about that far, and has a bicep rotation. He does have the gorilla arms with pretty much non-existent elbows. That's pretty much all the elbow bend you're getting. I mean, it's not even really bending all that much, so they're just kind of perpetually stuck in a angry sailor pose, I guess. You can move these claws right here in and out. I mean, I guess you can use that as like a claw weapon. I mean, that kind of does look like an actual claw. In terms of what you could really do with that, I don't really know. I guess if you really wanted to, you probably could leave them up like that. I mean, that's a look you could do if you want the claws just kind of facing upward. They are supposed to be facing down and I guess used as wrist-mounted weapons. If you move the spikes out of the way, you can see that there is a very thin waist, which is probably why I think it's a girl, just because the thinner waist design and somewhat feminine looking design, except for the arms, like a Popeye arms. But there is a waist swivel in there, which is kind of weird for the design of this figure. The legs will go up about that far before the knee spikes stop it. Back about that far if you go around the tail. There is a swivel, well, not really a swivel, it's just a ball joint that can move. And then there's the joint right there, right below the knee for transformation, which will allow you to move a little bit. You can point the toes down for transformation. And there is a knee bend that gives you a little bit under 90 degrees. The legs on the sides don't really look all that bad to me anyways. I mean, it's a little bit gappy, and you can see hinges and pins visible there, and on the other side, it's just kind of like a goofy looking dinosaur head submerged into the leg, but really, it doesn't really bother me all that much. I mean, it kind of suits the design of the character. I mean, it's an alright design for the robot mode. I definitely prefer the Dino mode over the robot mode. It was definitely better. But Slash does have an okay robot mode. It's not bad by any means. Definitely not as good as Scorn's robot mode, that's for sure. Another thing you can do if you really wanted to is this tail right here, because it just kind of hangs off the back. I guess you could, if you wanted to, use it as a hat. Or you could just, I don't really know what you could really do with it. I mean, there's really nowhere else it can go. It's just on that one hinge and just sits there on the back, which doesn't really bother me because it kind of reminds me of like Link's hat from The Legend of Zelda. Just if Link was a horrifying demon. I mean, it's pretty cool looking though. I do like the tail. But so yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of what Slash can do. I mean, it's just the two accessories right here, these little axes, which you can see them up close. I mean, they're just an axe. I mean, not really too much to look at. There's multiple different blades right there, and other than that, it's just plain gray soft plastic, and that's pretty much it. And now, as usual, what we do with these reviews, we're going to go into the voting. So we're going to set Slash off to the side and bring in the 2 votes. Yes, I'm still going to continue doing the voting. And what we have for the 2 votes today are going to be the high grade Build Fighters Denial Gundam. You can see right here, there he is. And the high grade Build Fighters Kamiki Burning Gundam. So as usual with these voting things, there will be an eye right over there where my finger's pointing at the top of the screen. And you will choose which figure you'd like to see reviewed next. And whichever one wins the poll will be the one reviewed. So guys, I am Shockwave640, and this was The Last Night Slash. And thank you so much, you guys, for watching, and I'll be seeing you later, my little Logicons. Peace!